guys, if you want to see more of my content and you want notifications for when new content comes out, please subscribe to my channel. It'll help me greatly. Thank you. Hmm. See ya. Hey guys, I'm back for another video. Today it's going to be about my Sega Genesis collection. So, I guess we'll get into it and see how it goes. First off, I'm going to start with my multi-carts. I've got this one here. It's got pretty much every Sega Genesis and Master System game on it. It's really good. But of course, I rather have the real copies, so this is just almost like a way for me to try out games and play it if I can't get it, you know? So that's really good. This one, 112 and 1, this was the first one that I got with my Genesis. And it was good, but it's nothing compared to the one I just showed. Next up, I'm gonna show my boxed games. I only have 3, but they're really good ones. I've only got this one a little while ago, but it's the Terminator on Sega Mega Drive. It's really good. It's missing the manual, but man, this game is so good. So good. I love it. I love it to death. I know the Sega CD version's got a better soundtrack and whatever, but this one here is really, really good. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Next up, we got Dick Tracy on the set. Well, it's the Genesis box, but it's the Mega Drive cartridge. See? And yes, it's missing the manual as well. Oh, and I got it like this, so it's definitely not in the best of shape. The case isn't, but hey, what can you do? Beggars can't be choosers, right? Next up, the case is real, but I said that wrong. The cartridge is real, but the case and manual are fake. And it's Michael Jackson's Moonwalker for the Sega Mega Drive. Again, I got the Mega Drive version because it was cheaper than getting the Genesis version. See? Yeah. Oh, this is one amazing game. It's one of the best on the Genesis. It is really, really good. It's so good. I love it to death. It's amazing. Next up, I'm gonna move to my loose games. So first off, I've got Shaq Fu. Man, I just don't understand why people hate on this game so much. No, it's not the best fighting game by any means, but it's certainly not bad. I've played much, much worse games. Like, that's the same thing with LJN. Why do people shit on all LJN games? They actually made some great games. Yes, some of them were horse shit, but there was other ones that were just really fun. Yeah, all games have their flaws, but they were really good. Listen, if you enjoyed a game, then the game did its job. It's a good game. It doesn't matter what everyone else says. Next up, we got Sonic and Knuckles. Ah, man, this is a really good. Well, I don't need to tell you, this is a really good game. Everyone knows that. Next up, we're gonna have my regular cartridge-based games. You know, the ones that are actually licensed by Sega. Well, this one is also licensed by Sega, but you know, it's a different shaped cartridge. So, starting off with Aladdin. This one is loved by a lot of people, and I completely understand why. It's really fun. It's an excellent game, so can't blame people for that. It's fun as hell. Next, we got Decap Attack. One of my favorites. I really love this game. Well, then again, on Sega Genesis, it's one of my favorite consoles because the library is amazing. So, I can't really say anything more than that about it. I just love the Genesis. And next up, we got Castle of Illusion. This is a really fun game. I mean, it's an early 90s Disney game. How can you go wrong? Like, there's so many good games from the late 80s, early 90s with Disney. It's just the best. Next up, one of my favorite beat 'em ups of all time, and that is Alien Storm. This game, I love it to death. It's, oh my god, it is amazing. It's one of the best beat 'em ups I've ever played. It is just phenomenal. It's really, really great. So, without further ado, on to the next cartridge. And next one is Altered Beast. And yes, by the way, so many of these are Mega Drive games, like Decap Attack, Castle of Illusion, Alien Storm, and Altered Beast. Yeah, I got a lot of Mega Drive cartridges because they're exactly the same as the Genesis cartridge, it just says Mega Drive on it. And the thing is, the way it works with this is any game that's from 1992 and before on Mega Drive, you can play on the Genesis, but all the ones that's in 1993 and after, you can't because it's, optimized for PAL consoles. So I don't mind collecting the ones that's from 92 and before because it's just it's cheaper. It's a cheaper alternative. Next up, we got this is critically acclaimed by a lot of people, and I mean, I can't blame them. It's a really good game. You got Streets of Rage, the original one from '91. Oh man, oh I played this game to death. Next up, this is a really underrated game, and it's pretty much nobody knows about it except the hardcore collectors. And I mean, again, it's one of the best beat 'em ups I have ever played, and yet it's so underrated. So I'm letting you know this game is worth picking up if you can get it for a good price. That's Mystical Fighter. Man, oh, this game is just so good. So good. It's like you're like a kabuki person or whatever you want to call them in feudal Japan, and you're just fighting guys, throwing them around, it's excellent. Next up we got my last Mega Drive game, and that's Super WrestleMania. I mean, oh, this is from the Golden Era of Wrestling, 1992, right? It's so good. I'm a big wrestling fan, so, yeah. Oh, big old school wrestling fan, I should say. I don't like WWE. I like WWF, WCW, ECW, NWA. I like that stuff, but I don't like the new wrestling. But yeah, this is a really good game, so I definitely recommend it. Although I must say, WWF Royal Rumble is better, which also came out on the Genesis, so I would recommend that one to pick up over Super WrestleMania. Next up, I haven't played this game a whole lot, but mainly because of the really hard difficulty. That's Dinosaurs for Hire. It's based on a comic from the 90s. I mean, it is a cool idea for a game. Your dinosaurs with big ass guns going around and shooting things. How can you go wrong? But you know, it's just I found it really hard. I'm not the greatest at it, so I haven't played it much. Next up, we got I'm just gonna go into it. Mortal Kombat. Now everyone knows if we were talking home console ports of Mortal Kombat, the original, the best one to go with is the Genesis version because of the blood code. It's most faithful to the arcade because it still has the blood in it. Because the big lawsuit and all that was going on in the early '90s about that involved Mortal Kombat. It's because of this game that we got the rating system. Like the age rating. ESRB. That's why this game is what did that because the blood was really controversial for the time. And well, it's just a damn good game. It's one of my favorite one-on-one fighters. But my favorite's got to be Street Fighter 2, I would say. That's just I love that game. Next up, another Konami classic. We got Animaniacs. I grew up watching the cartoon, and so I decided, hey, I might as well get the game, right? Because I searched it up online and watched it on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, that looks like a good game, and it is. It's really fun. So definitely pick that one up. Next up, we got a game that it's really fun. It could have been such an amazing game. It could have been, but the difficulty is insane. I can't even beat the first level. It's nuts. The difficulty is insane, or else I'm just not playing it right. I don't know. But anyways, it's Garfield caught in the act. Like the sprite work and everything is beautiful, but the game is just so damn hard. I can't get over it. Like, so I can't really recommend this one, but it's fun. I guess. I don't know. You can do a lot better on the Genesis. Next up, we've got Beavis and Butthead. Man, this game, it, it's hard to figure out, but if you know what you're doing, it's a really fun game. So I definitely recommend this one if you can figure it out and get it for a good price. It's especially if you're a fan of the cartoon. I mean, you gotta have it, right? Which I am. I'm a big fan of the cartoon from the '90s. It's wonderful. Um, Next up, we got Batman Returns. Man, I gotta admit, the Super Nintendo beat 'em up is a much better game. This one is really good. It's just I can't beat the first level because I keep losing all my lives on the first boss, which is Catwoman. She's being a real bitch to me. I just can't. I can't beat her. I can knock her off once or twice, but you gotta knock her off the building 3 times, and she keeps doing these cartwheels and shit and hitting you. And I'm like, oh my god, I can't do shit with it. It pisses me off enough that I just shut off the game. So this game's still really really cheap to get. So if you want it, sure, but you can do better with the Adventures of Batman and Robin on the Sega Genesis. Don't get Batman Forever because that's actually kind of a bad game. And the last few games I got is all just Sonic games. So we got Sonic the Hedgehog 3. What can I say about this? What can I say about all these games? They're just excellent. The Sonic games. They're freaking iconic. Then we've got Sonic the Hedgehog 2, one of my favorite Genesis games, one of my favorite games in general. It's just, I got a lot of memories playing this as a kid on the Sonic Mega Collection on PS2. So, I grew up playing this game all the time. I loved it to death, and I still do. And then we got the original, the classic Sonic the Hedgehog, not for resale variant, which means it came with bundled with a console. And what can I say? It's not as good as Sonic 2 or 3 or Knuckles, but it is still excellent. The second one added the spin dash, which really adds to the game, so, you know, can't go wrong with the first one, though. It's really good. Then we've got Sonic 3D Blast. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was a Saturn game as well. Sega Saturn. But I don't know, man. It's just alright, you know. I like it, but you can do better on the Genesis. And last but not least, we've got Sonic Spinball. It's it's good enough. I like it, but I haven't played it a whole lot, so I can't say a whole lot about it. Well, that's my Genesis collection. That wraps that up. So, I guess that's it. Until next time, see ya.